Have you started taking a new medication and you notice something and you're like, that's interesting. I never felt that before. I never see that before. Well, a lot of people ignore medication side effects because sometimes it's very mild. Medications are meant to work for you, not work against you. So if you start taking any new medication and you're noticing uncomfortable symptoms, it's very important to recognize the change. That way you can, bring it up and talk about it with your provider. Medications are not supposed to make things worse. They're supposed to help make things better. And there are so many other options. Like every medication has like 5 to 10 different, options that we can switch to. Hi, everybody. My name is Anastasia, and welcome to my channel. If you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back. If you're new, come on and make yourself at home. Here we talk about everything. So come on in and let's have a chat. First, one that I want to talk about is fatigue or tiredness. It's very easy to ignore, especially if you're taking the medication at night and you just take it and you go to bed and, that's it. But just recognize that, okay, I'm feeling a little bit more tired than I am. And some medications that causes that are blood pressure medications, antihistamines like allergy medicine, and antidepressants. So if you start taking any of this medication, just be on the lookout for increase in your tiredness or fatigue levels. Number two is cough, dry, persistent cough, especially in the springtime. You might think I have allergies, that's why I'm coughing and it's dry, or I'm getting over a cold, and just brush it off. But medication such as ACE inhibitors is a blood pressure medication. Side effect of that is dry, persistent cough. So if you start taking any blood pressure medication and you notice there's been this dry, persistent cough that you're having, definitely recognize it and talk to your primary physician about it, because especially when it comes to blood pressure medication, there are so many other options. Like, you don't have to deal with coughing all the time, and it gets annoying at night. It interrupts your sleep. So if you're having a dry, persistent cough after starting a blood pressure medication, definitely bring it up to your provider. We can find something different for you to take. Next one is dizziness or feeling lightheadedness. Medications that can cause something like this are, again, blood pressure medication, medications that affect the nervous system, all can cause you to have lightheadedness and dizziness. And when it comes to this, in particular, it could be dangerous, because if you're feeling dizzy or lightheadedness and unstable on your feet, you might end up tripping and falling and hurting yourself even more. So if you're taking any medication and you're noticing that when you go from a sitting to a standing position, first, don't walk. Just stand there until the dizziness kind of subside a little bit before walking. But also recognize the change in your condition, bring it up to your provider, because you could ignore it and just say, oh, it's just a little dizzy, but it's just the consequence of the side effect. Falling and hurting yourself is what we don't want. Next thing is stomach issues, feeling bloated, gassy, nausea, vomiting. That's very uncomfortable. And depending on what medication you're taking, there's no need to suffer and go through all these uncomfortable symptoms. Talk to your provider and we can find something else. If you're taking anti-inflammatory medications, antibiotics is very, very notorious. There are certain antibiotics that I stay away from, because when I take it, my stomach just go like this. It's just like a knot. And so I have taken it in the past and had those side effects, so I know to stay away from them. So when you do have them, not only do you tell your provider so they can put it on your medications that you're allergic to or have severe side effect and you shouldn't be taking it, but also you don't have to suffer through them. Another medication is metformin. Metformin is notorious for stomach issues. So I have a patient that we prescribed metformin, and she's like, that was the worst feeling I ever had. I never want. And I'm like, sure, you don't, like, there are so many other options. You don't have to stick with the one that is making you uncomfortable. So metformin, antibiotics, anti-inflammatory medications. These three medications have side effect of stomach issues, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, bloating, gas, all that stuff. Next is muscle pain. Muscle pain, depending on how severe the pain is also one that can easily be ignored. Medication like statins, like cholesterol medications, have side effect of that. If you started taking any cholesterol medication and you notice soreness of muscle, you have pain in your muscles more than usual, bring up to your provider. Last one is mood changes. So this is something that, as humans, we don't even recognize ourselves. Like when you become irritable more than usual, or you're just, like your mood changed. Sometimes it's hard for us to recognize. Somebody else has to tell us, like, hey, what's going on with you? You just seems a little bit, anxious lately, or you're just annoyed about everything lately. So if you're taking any medication and you just started noticing that you just find regular things just annoying, like things just annoy you more than usual, it could be related to medications that you're taking. And this is one that is missed very often. So I just want to draw special attention to this. Mood changes can be because of medication that you're taking, and it could be one of the side effects. So definitely monitor and bring it up to your provider to discuss. Medications are meant to work for you, not work against you. So if you start taking any new medication and you're noticing uncomfortable symptoms, even if they are, you can ignore them or you can just brush them aside, it's very important to recognize the change. That way you can, bring it up and talk about it with your provider. Medications are not supposed to make things worse. They're supposed to help make things better. And there are so many other options. Like every medication has like 5 to 10 different options that we can switch to. But even though it's mild and you want to ignore it, that's fine. But at least recognize that there's been a change since you started taking a particular medication. And sometimes it's not really the main ingredient that's causing the side effect. It could be the other things that is included to make the medication stable that is causing the side effect. So if we switch from one brand to another, or if we switch from even a brand name to a generic form of the same medication, sometimes that makes a difference in patients. So please don't sit and suffer. Just talk about it, be open to listen, to learn, and discuss everything with your provider. I hope you found this video very helpful. Thank you for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, put down any questions or concerns, any side effect that I didn't mention that you've experienced in the past. Put it down in the comments so we can all learn from each other. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.